I think ultimately if you're getting the best player in the NBA, and yeah, he's not proven to be a winner. Lou, by the way, again, thanks for your call. I really appreciate it.
Thanks,
but at the end of the day, you're getting the best player in the league, arguably the best player in the league on your team. Immediately, a team that's never been in the playoffs in a very long time, the longest streak of a team not being in the playoffs. They're now going to be in the playoffs with LeBron. You have D'Antoni. I know Lou said he doesn't like D'Antoni. A lot of people don't like D'Antoni for the fact that he doesn't play defense. But what I like about D'Antoni is he's so adamant about offense being able to win a championship, and he won't stop until he proves his point. And yet, maybe the Olympic team had like a lot of all-stars all on one team. But if you have the right pieces and the Knicks have all this money to spend to build a team that the coach wants for his system, I can't see it being much different.
Adam, let me ask you this with D'Antoni. Now, obviously, when they made those trades 2 years ago, it was for 2010. Now, do you think is it fair that essentially D'Antoni got a 2-year pass in order for this time to come? I mean, because we're talking about a lot of people in New York criticize D'Antoni. He's only won 32 in 29 games.
Right. Well,
do you think with that team that they have, they should have won more?
You know what? I don't think you can win with a bad team. It's very hard to win with just a bad team. People like the Knicks don't play defense. You need defense to win games, but you can't.
But that comes from the coach.
But you can't play defense with players that aren't able to play defense. They're not defensive players. You need players that know how to play defense. You can't teach defense. You can't. It's very hard to teach defense. It's either you have it or you don't have it.
It's all the mentality.
It's a mentality. Exactly. You can't teach that. Players have to want it. If players want it, they can play defense. But when you have a team like this that's been through all these coaches, you start to think, okay, how many coaches is it going to take before a team starts playing defense? You start to say, hey, it's just the players. These players are not good defenders. You can't win. You can't play defense with players that don't play defense, you can't make a bad defensive team a good defensive team unless you add new players, especially over this amount of time it's been with the Knicks. It's been way too long. If these players are going to play defense.
But you say that you can't teach defense. I mean, I think defense, if anything, that's probably one of the easiest things to do. All you do is you take a man and you stick with
them. But that's
them.
just it.
Stick with them.
Right.
You don't keep your eyes off your man.
But that comes down to the players. The players have to want it. You know,
I mean,
players need to want to play defense in order to be successful.
But it's harder to teach somebody to shoot a proper jump shot as opposed to sticking with a man.
Well,
you see a lot of these guys who have unorthodox shots that they really can't shoot the ball correctly. Defense is just sit there and follow your guy.
Well, offense is much easier to teach because when you think basketball, the first thing that comes to your mind is shooting, not playing defense. Everyone knows how to shoot. So when you come in, you just maybe adjust their shot a little bit, you do this, but the play in the system that D'Antoni wants is very up-tempo, and I think the reason why they brought him in was, okay, the Knicks can't play defense. So we need someone that can make our offense twice as good as our defense because we need to make up for that because we don't play defense.
But that's the thing. You say it's like you're saying you're giving them an excuse that they don't play defense.
Right.
They should be institutionalizing a defensive mindset.
No.
What do you mean no?
You're absolutely
wrong.
All
championship teams play defense.
You're right. Absolutely. I don't disagree with you on that. But the thing is, with this Knicks team, they weren't getting good defenders. They couldn't get this team together. So they said, all right, we're going to work with what we have. D'Antoni will come in. He'll make it a little more exciting to watch. Do this for 2 years. Wait till 2010. Get LeBron James. Get whoever. Anything that D'Antoni wants for his system.
How much more exciting was it to watch these past 2 years? We're talking about 32 and 29 wins.
Right.
We're not talking about 38, 39
But
wins.
everyone knew that, first of all, to watch them, at least it was much more tolerable. See them lose to the Lakers by 3-4 points. See them lose to the Cavs, by 10 points. But it's not like they were getting blown out every game by 40, 30. They weren't so many upsets.
But here's the thing, though. If there was a defensive mentality there, that 3-point loss to the Lakers might have been a 2-point win.
No,
it might have been a 2-point win.
Either, you know what, though? They don't have that. You're going with something they don't have. They don't have that.
So
they're in
rebuild.
No.
That's where a guy like D'Antoni should be institutionalized.
You're wrong.
Defense.
You're wrong.
How am I wrong?
You're wrong.
How am I wrong?
You're wrong because they're in a rebuilding mode. These 2 seasons we were tanking. The Knicks were tanking it. Everyone in the league knew that.
So if you have young guys, you should be teaching them defense from day one.
And that's what they do. Wilson Chandler plays defense. Gallinari, he's learning. Hey, actually, Gallinari may be their best defender. That's what they're doing. They're starting from scratch. Tony Douglas is a defensive point guard. He plays defense. These guys all are able to play defense. These young guys they drafted are all able to play defense. And D'Antoni's making their offensive game better. So now, with all that being said, these players in a couple years are going to be some of them, like Gallinari, is a potential all-star player. Wilson Chandler's a potential all-star player. All these guys see it.
We got. I mean, before you make conclusions like that, we got to see how they interact next year and if they could bring. Because the only way, with the exception of David Lee, who obviously deserved to be an all-star this year. A true all-star is going to make his team better. If this team next year, regardless of who they sign, guys like Gallinari and Chandler don't step up and help contribute to their team, they can't be all-stars.
All right, but bottom line is LeBron James, I think he has to make the right decision. He needs to come to New York. Not just for the fans, not just for himself. He wants to build a legacy. Be the guy to come to New York and build a legacy for yourself in the greatest city in the world. That's really what I think. He needs to come. He needs to come to New York.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's I think 47-day countdown until.
Yeah. And then
they got a countdown on ESPN.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, they got. I think it's up to 45 days, 10 hours, 32 minutes.
Wow, talk about being precise.
It's with a picture of LeBron wearing a number 6.
Now, there's all this factor in. Like Knicks fans, they said ticket sales have already been skyrocketing since the Cavs got eliminated from the playoffs. And after all that beef you heard also, Delonte West apparently sleeping with LeBron James' mother.
I don't even know where the hell that came from.
What was that all about?
I mean,
my goodness.
That story surfaces. LeBron James' mom is sleeping with his teammate Delonte West. And apparently the story says that he found this out before Game 4. And that's why he had such a bad game. Now, do we know if this is true or not? I mean, it could just be a rumor, but people are starting to really talk about this, and I'd like to hear what LeBron has to say. I'd like to hear what people have been saying about this. But, I mean, that's a pretty big thing to say, hey, you know what? I'm done with Cleveland. I'm leaving.
You know what's funny? I can't think of a word for Delonte West that doesn't resolve in cursing, so that's why what I want to say.
Hold back.
I'm just going to take a pass on that. But if this story really is true, Delonte, man, who the hell do you think you are, man? Who do you really think you are, man, doing that to your teammate, doing that to your teammate's mother? But then again, at the same time, if this really is true, what does that say about LeBron's mother?
I mean, it
it
says a lot about LeBron's mother right there.
I mean, is she what we like to call the terminology we like to use, a Santa?
A Santa?
DP knows what I'm talking about.
I don't.
Well, all right, how about this? How about this, Adam? What does Santa Claus say every Christmas? Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. We'll leave it at that.
All right. But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break, guys. You're listening to Talkin Hoops. Call us, 877-242-8212. Let us know what you think. Get in on the conversation. We'll be back right after this.
Don't foul out. Talkin Hoops will be right back.